Now I'm revisiting the conversation we had in a previous video about the post height here at the back so that I can have a decent pitch so my roof doesn't leak, but also so that you don't have to be a hobbit to stack firewood on that back part of the woodshed. So I spoke with William and we decided that you can always cut more off. So this post is the shortest. So I measured level from that post across to the middle and this far one. And what I came up with over here on this side is I'm going to cut about that much off. And then over here in the middle, I'm going to cut right there. That is going to be my maximum height for this back row. Then I'm going to place my 4x6 across there and see what that looks like in terms of pitch from the front to the back. Now, the reason I can use a 4x6 here instead of a 4x12 is because I have this middle post, which means that it'll be supported every 6 feet. The general rule is that your lumber has to be the dimension maximum of the distance that you're spanning. So because this is 6 feet, this has to be a 4x6. Across the front there, it's a 12-foot span, so it had to be a 4x12. All right, here's our mock-up, and honestly, I think that looks like a perfectly sufficient pitch. So even though mathematically it's not clean, I am gonna go with it. All right, I got my front and back headers in place. Now comes the fun part, figuring out how high to cut my middle posts. So I got to set those and figure that out. And I think I'm going to use maybe even a ratchet strap. Ooh, there's a thought. Okay, I've got a ratchet strap up there. Ideally, I would use a piece of lumber, but I don't actually have anything that is that long, I don't think. Okay, this is some redneck ingenuity right here. I've got my ratchet strap up there and it is pulled taut, and you'll notice that it's hitting the back of the 4x6 and it's hitting the back of the 4x12 there. So I want to make sure that I'm measuring where the back of this header is going to run before I cut anything like this post. So I know that my header, which is right down there, is 11.5 inches tall. And so I'm measuring 11.5 inches down from this ratchet strap. But before I take any measurements, I also have to make sure that my post is plumb, because that's going to affect things as well. So my post here is plumb in this direction, and I couldn't do it and take the measurement and take the footage at the same time, but I marked 11.5 inches down from the ratchet strap, and it's that mark right there. So now I'm going to take my speed square, mark that, double check it, and then cut. Now this is a pitfall of using kind of salvage style lumber that is not necessarily standard dimension. You have to really take careful measurements. You can't rely on anything standard. Compounding the issue is the fact that I am not going with a standard roof pitch like 3 and 12 or 4 and 12. So that's going to make it doubly, triply important that I measure twice before cutting once. I double checked my measurement, and I'm actually going to bring this line up 1/4 inch and see what that does. I am of the opinion you can always cut more off, but again, no one seems capable of inventing the board stretcher. I'm taking this post down to cut it so that it will be more stable and I'll get a more square top. And voila! Now I'm going to put it back up and go to the other side. All right, I marked this and measured it the same way that I did the other side, and now I'm doing one last check, which is with the use of my handy dandy string level. So I've got the string across the top of that post that I've already cut and set, and I'm making sure that this is going to be a level header, and it is on the line that I set. So just to show you one more time, it's on the line and the bubble is in the middle. And here's how I can tell that my measurements worked out all right. I've got two 2x4s mocked up here, and they're joined in the middle, or at least they will be. And it's one continuous line down, and we're in good shape. Here's another view from the side, and you can see that they form one continuous line. And just as intended, we're hitting the back of each header.